You're standing in the kitchen at T6:47 in the evening, phone in your hand, rereading a text you sent 4 hours ago. 2 checkmarks. No reply. Your stomach drops the way it does when you miss a step on the stairs, a real, physical lurch for something that is just silence on a screen. But psychology tells a completely different story than you're being too sensitive. There's a reason your body treats being turned away like an actual injury. And once you understand the mechanism behind it, you'll stop apologizing for how much it hurts. In 2003, a researcher named Naomi Eisenberger put people in a brain scanner and had them play a simple ball-tossing game with 2 other players. Except the other players were computer-controlled, and partway through, they stopped throwing the ball to the participant. The brain lit up in the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the same region that activates when your body registers physical pain. Not something similar to pain, the same circuitry. And here's the part almost nobody mentions when they tell this story. In a follow-up study, people who took a common over-the-counter pain reliever for 3 weeks reported measurably less hurt from everyday social rejection than people who took a placebo. A pill made for a sprained ankle blunted the sting of being left out. Your brain never built a separate system for social pain. It repurposed the one you already had for bleeding, and it did it so completely that a chemical which numbs a bruised knee can also numb a bruised ego. That single fact rewires the rest of this. If exclusion registers in the same place as injury, then the reason it feels disproportionate isn't a flaw in your wiring. It's the wiring doing exactly what it was built to do. For most of human history, being cast out of the group wasn't an inconvenience. It was a death sentence. No tribe meant no food, no protection, no chance of surviving the next winter alone. So evolution did something ruthless and efficient. It took the alarm system built for physical danger and wired social danger straight into it. A cold shoulder trips the same wire as a wound, because for most of your species' existence, it might as well have been one. And here's the part that changes everything about how you read your own reactions. This isn't a system that misfires occasionally. It's a system that was never designed to distinguish between the two in the first place, which means the overreaction you've been apologizing for was never a malfunction. It was the system working exactly as designed, just in a world it was never updated for. Which explains something else you've probably noticed and never had a name for. One rejection seems to outweigh a dozen moments of being wanted. Psychologists call this negativity bias, and it isn't unique to rejection. Your brain is built to weight threats more heavily than rewards, because in survival terms, missing a threat could kill you, while missing a reward just meant a smaller meal. So 10 friends texting back, "Yes, come," barely register. One friend who goes quiet gets replayed for 3 days, turned over at 2 a.m., reread for hidden meaning, cross-examined for what you might have said wrong. But here's the detail most people miss about negativity bias. It doesn't just make the bad moment feel bigger. It makes your brain search your memory for other times it felt this way, stacking old rejections underneath the new one, until a single unanswered text feels like evidence in a much larger case against you. It's not that the good moments didn't count. It's that your threat detection system was never built to count them the same way, and it was never built to let just one memory stand alone. There's a name for what happens next, and it's the part that turns one bad moment into a verdict on who you are. Psychologists call it attribution generalization, the process by which your brain takes a single, specific event and quietly rewrites it as a permanent fact about you. A friend goes quiet for a week, and somewhere underneath the surface, "She's busy" turns into "People eventually get tired of me." This isn't you being irrational. It's your brain doing something it's built to do with any data point, trying to extract a pattern, a rule, something that will let you predict the next rejection before it happens. The problem is that one data point isn't a pattern. It just feels like one, because the alarm system doesn't wait for statistical proof before it starts writing the story. That story rarely stays contained to one relationship. Once your brain has generalized a single rejection into, "This is who I am to people," it starts applying that rule everywhere, to the next friend who's slow to reply, the next group chat that goes quiet, the next silence that was probably nothing. Now here's where it gets personal, because this alarm isn't calibrated the same for everyone, and the calibration isn't random. Researchers studying rejection sensitivity have found that people who experienced inconsistent love or approval early on, a parent whose affection depended on mood, performance, or behavior, often grow into adults whose rejection alarm is turned up several notches higher than everyone else's. Not because they're fragile, because somewhere back in childhood, the stakes of being turned away were genuinely higher, and the system learned to take no chances. A child who could predict a parent's withdrawal a few seconds earlier had a few more seconds to adjust, to soften, to prevent it. That early advantage never got uninstalled, just because the parent isn't in the room anymore. The strange part isn't that this makes rejection hurt more as an adult. It's what the system starts doing next, long before any rejection actually happens. It starts scanning. A slightly flat text, a friend who didn't laugh at your joke, a pause half a second too long in a conversation, and your nervous system is already running the worst-case scenario, bracing for an exit that hasn't even been announced. This is the trait that's different from everything else in this video, because it isn't a reaction to pain. It's a prediction engine trying to get ahead of it, scanning every interaction for the earliest possible sign that someone is about to leave, so that if it happens, you're never caught off guard again. It feels like anxiety. It's actually vigilance, a system so committed to protecting you from the ancient danger of being cast out that it started checking for it before breakfast, long before there was ever a reason to. If this has felt uncomfortably familiar, that's exactly why this channel exists, to put names to experiences most people spend years blaming themselves for. That's what the subscribe button is for. So the checkmarks, the unanswered text, the stomach drop over something you can't even prove was intentional. None of that was you being dramatic. That was a system built out of the oldest, most literal survival machinery your species has, one that still can't tell the difference between a sprained ankle and a cold shoulder, because for most of history, it never had to. Go back to that kitchen, 6:47, phone still in your hand. 4 hours ago, those 2 checkmarks looked like evidence that something was wrong with you. Now they look like evidence that an ancient survival system is doing exactly what it evolved to do. You were never too sensitive. You were never overreacting. You were carrying an alarm system built for a world where being left out could actually kill you. And it never got the memo that the tribe is different now. Which trait hit closest to home? Drop a number in the comments.